Hey, it's time for some updates and a little bit of housekeeping. I'd like to welcome everybody back to BUFORD Pusser, the other story. This past few weeks has been really busy for me, and the future seems to hold a lot of the same. This past week, for instance, I was a guest of homicide detective Jason White at the U.S. Marshals Museum, where Jason was speaking. You see Jason a lot if you ever watch A&E's First 48. Of course, it's a program about homicide investigation, and the idea behind the theme of the show is that if you want to solve a crime, generally you have 48 hours to get as much information as you can to pretty much ensure that you'll be able to solve it. Tulsa, where Jason is a homicide detective, has one of the best closure rates as far as their homicide cases in the entire nation. Now, you would expect New York City, Chicago, LA, where they have large departments to hold the spot as being the best, but they're far behind Tulsa. Tulsa is just really got an awesome program going. While we were there at the U.S. Marshals Museum, it gave us a chance to look and see what the history of the U.S. Marshals has been. And we got some idea of where they're headed. But like I say, Jason was a guest speaker there, had a sellout crowd, and I was fortunate enough that he asked me to attend, and I got a front row seat to watch all this. Jason explained, for instance, what makes Tulsa Homicide Division so good, and a lot of it is teamwork. They work together well. A lot of it is the technologies that they use, because they're on the forefront of the technologies that are out there now. And he covered all that in a really nice PowerPoint presentation. It was amazing to see what all that they can do, how quickly that they can track a murderer down. And so that was really exciting. Now, the thing is, you need to watch A&E First 48. Look for episodes from Tulsa, and especially the ones that's got Jason, because you'll learn a lot about this sort of thing. But for those of you who do watch it, Jason is planning on being at our meet and greet and our tour this May, and as a matter of fact, got a lot of law enforcement officers that are attending this year. I was kind of surprised by the number that have already sent me information saying that they are going to attend. So we ought to have a good crowd of people who speak a far different language than most of us do. Now, but before I go any further about the meet and greet from May 22nd through the 24th of, like I say, of May, I would like to give a brief update on what's going on over in McNairy County with the investigation into Pauline Pusser's death. Now, as you know, the TBIs concluded their investigation. They have turned the file over to District Attorney General Mark Davidson of the 25th Judicial District there in Tennessee, and there's several things that he could do. He could just review the file and decide that he's not going to do anything. He could decide that he could turn it back over to the TBI and they could close the case administratively. The other thing that they could do that comes to mind is they could have a grand jury where that they could see if they could get Buford indicted for Pauline's murder, and that gives them a means to let the citizens have a voice in this. Uh, Granted, the, you can't take a dead man to court, but they can take it to a grand jury and let them decide one way or another whether there was enough merit into the things that Buford did to indict him for the murder and let it fall there. That way, as I say, that way the citizens have a voice. I don't know what will happen, but according to statements that I've read in the newspaper and heard different places, that it's probably going to happen soon. I have to commend the people at the TBI and Mark Davidson because this is a case that they didn't have to take on. There had been nothing happening for 56 years, but yet they stepped in. They did what they should have done, in my opinion. And, I've got to applaud them for that. And, keep in mind about all the people from my Facebook page that has followed this story over the years and the ones that contributed to this as well. I mean, we had a lot of people that stepped up that gave information that the TBI had not had before. So, regardless of how it goes, I appreciate all the hard work that everybody put into this. Now, all of this brings us up to the meet and greet on May 24th. Of course, the Pusser Festival is May 22nd, 23rd, and 24th for those of you who want to get down there early and attend it. But on Saturday, the 24th, our plan is together at the Selmer City Park at 9 a.m. We'll have coffee, donuts, get to know each other, take a few photographs. And at that point, we'll all get in our cars and we'll head down Highway 64 toward Adamsville. Along the way, we'll stop at the Pusser Memorial. It's the site where Buford was killed in a single vehicle auto accident. Now, there'll probably be some people there with us that happened to be there the night that he was killed. Uh, they happened upon it, and they'll tell what they saw, what they heard. Uh, Really interesting when we did it last time. Then we'll proceed on down to Adamsville to the Pusser Home and Museum. Now, a lot of people don't understand it, but I do support the museum, even though I don't necessarily agree with the Pusser legend. It's an interesting place. So there are a lot of things to see there. There is an admission fee generally, and you might go to their Facebook page or their website to see what the admission is. From that point, we'll take the route that Buford and Pauline took the morning of August 12th, 1967, as they went on an alleged disturbance call. Now, what's so interesting about this is you get to see what a convoluted system of roads Buford took to get to Hollis Jordan's Beer Tavern that morning. And it'll make you wonder why he didn't just go 2 blocks from his home, get on Highway 64, go into Selmer to 45, and be down at Hollis Jordan's Beer Tavern much quicker. Now, it will also make you wonder, or at least it has me, how an ambush party would have known to wait for him at the Methodist Church there on New Hope Road. It, to me, it's just mind-boggling that they would have waited there for him. Be sure and subscribe and hit that bell so that you'll get notifications of new videos when they're released. We'll stop, talk a little bit about that, take some photographs for those who want to, and then we'll drive 7/10 of a mile down to the first ambush site. We'll stop, more pictures. Dennis Hathcock will tell what he saw that morning when he arrived. Of course, R.C. Matlock, constable, was already there, and Dennis will tell us all about that. When we're finished at that site, we'll drive another 2.1 miles down New Hope Road to the second ambush site. And once again, we'll stop, take pictures. Dennis will tell what he found there as far as shell casings and part of Pauline's bloodied scalp. We'll get back in our vehicles, drive a little over a mile. We'll be at the state line by then. And that's where the Plantation Club, the Shamrock Motel and Restaurant, and the White Iris were. Of course, the Shamrock and the Plantation Club are no longer there, but you'll get an idea about the logistics of everything, how it sat there at the state line. Now, the White Iris is still standing, but it's survived a fire, and it's a dangerous place to try and go into. But you will get a look at where it is and what it basically looked like. From there, we'll drive a short distance on down Highway 45, and first we'll come to the site where James Dickey, the sheriff of McNairy County, when Buford ran against him in 1964, and you'll see where Sheriff Dickey was killed. Almost at the same location, we'll pass by the where Hollis Jordan's Beer Tavern once stood, and it's also compact right in that area for so many things to have been there and happened in those locations right there. From there, we'll get on 45. We'll travel a few miles, get on Guy's Chihuahua Road, and that'll take us down to where the Old Hickory Grill once stood, and also where Willie B's was, and it's still standing. It hasn't been open in years, but it's still there. We'll loop around, go into Eastview, and we'll see two things there. One is the location where Alan McCoy's store once stood, and that's the location where authorities found Buford and Pauline the morning of the ambush. Just a short distance away is the location of where the state maintenance lot once sat that Dennis and Johnny watched as Buford got guns from a car from bearing Oklahoma tags. And there's nothing really to see there, just the location itself where it was for references. And from that point, we'll go on into Selmer to the McNairy County Courthouse. Well, first we'll see Buford's office in the basement area of the courthouse. Then we'll go up to the third floor where the jail was, and we'll go through the cells. You can see what it would have been like to be in lockup there. You'll see the room where Charlie Brown allegedly hung himself. You might also get a look at the wall that Paul David English went over as he escaped from the jail, and Buford had to chase him down and shot him. Also, while you're at the courthouse, you can go in the courtroom and see where Judge Treese heard a lot of cases. Now, after that, in the evening, for those who want, we like to gather up at a restaurant that's will be close by, and gives us a last chance for most of us to get together, visit, talk about what we've seen, answer any questions that we can. Now, for those that stay over on Sunday, we might even take a trip down to Corinth and see where the El Rey Motel was, where Towhead was killed. We would see the Nightfall location. It's no longer there, but you'll see where it was, along with Teresa's truck stop and Junior and Shirley Smith's old place. It's a location where that Junior shot Nimbo Price. At any rate, it'll be interesting if anyone's interested in doing that. Be glad to show them. But now, I might warn you, over the next couple of weeks, might not have as many videos. There's a reason for that. I am about to have some eye surgery, and I'm told that I will have two black eyes. So, which will impair these Brad Pitt good looks that I've been so blessed with. So, having said that, I'll get off here for now. Just remember, truth has no agenda. Thanks for watching.